So this should be the first section of the 4 small tubes. And the next one, we're just turning the beadwork, and we start to bead in a way. We start with the metallic color. As you remember, I told that we are going horizontally and vertically. So that's why it's important that you somehow keep the things parallel. So you need to have this corner that connects this space here. So the ending of the crossing line, the first one, should be stitched like here, exactly next to where we stopped the first braid. So these two lines, these 2 points should be connected, and therefore it's leaning over on a bigger, massive first unit of braid. So you have to, and I usually do this. So try to put it exactly to the corner. And if you just bend it, you will see how much bending it should need. Because obviously you need it a little more than if you just put it like here. So give some extra length here. And again, as I told you, we're going bits by bits. There's always a room for modifying the length. So we try it first. We start in this corner, this upper corner next to the crystal part. And this is very important that this is the starting point, because with this you can make sure that it's absolutely horizontal and vertical. So I'm trying to put my needle through this tube. And again, checking if it's sliding properly. And it's not, again. So I'm just make a little cutting if I see, because my eye's good or I'm wearing glasses, what caused the hiccups, then it's easy to get rid of it. So again, put it here and check if it's the appropriate size. And I would say it's a little bit flexible. I don't know if I would need it longer, but let's make a try. So also, it might happen that you should be stitching even more down. So not right next to, but a little further down. It doesn't matter, because once it's in their place, it will look okay. And you keep braiding the sections to each other. So if you put the beadwork face to face, you will see that this should be a nice crossing line. But if you see, it's slightly bigger than we got used to, because it had to lean over many things. If you pull it, the thread tighter, it will just start moving and will be tighter as well, but not too much. So don't let it be too loose. So we do the next section. Accordingly, we start it here and somehow try to estimate the appropriate size by positioning the next darker blue section. And this is about every time estimate, because then you have to check whether it's sliding properly and whether it's the appropriate length. So for that, it's always like the turning point. And this is very important. We started from this corner and we made sure that we just do, you know, this horizontal, vertical, but always parallel to either of the axis thing. But now we have the base, so we can build up the braid in a way that we start here below, because this will be visible from the side. And this is the important point, that this distance should be nice, because the first silver tube of the second unit is horizontal enough. So if it's okay, then we could just join them. So again, it's sliding nicely, and I just put it here, and I think it will look okay. So I put it down. It's sliding nicely on the thread as well. So it's there. And before I stitch down, I just put it to place, and I'm just checking from each side whether I should cut it, modify it, or it will be okay. So right next to the silver ending, I would like to finish this stitch. So let's see how it goes. Because if it looks ugly, then I will just redo it. Again, softly straightening. So you see over there. And with these steps, you will end up in a nearly flawless braid. Okay, so again, here comes the silver one. I'm just saying you that if you make just like a 10 millimeter long, or I don't know, half-inch long pre-cuts, it's easier because you have to just pick them. So leave them longer than shorter, and then it's easier to work with it. So this is so far the second unit of the braid, and we are going to make it until, I don't know, 3 or 4, just to make sure that you know how to. But if you follow the instructions step by step, then it will be also appropriate to follow. So here comes a silver one. So let's pick a silver, which looks nice. If you have a curvy one, you shouldn't be worried about it. Try to put gently onto your needle. It makes it straight. Just test it if it's sliding nicely. Because once you just make the stitch, because of its flexibility, it will go to its place. So you shouldn't mind the curve. So I'm just trying to get rid of it. So from the outside, try to get the starting point here, just about having this curvy one sliding nicely, measuring it to the others. Just counting on that, even if we consider it a bit longer than the distance that it's curving, so should be okay. And again, pulling the thread gently. And the third one is getting to its place. So as the braid is building up, they will be a lot more nicer. So let me finish with the blue pattern. Here we have another section. Sliding okay. Measuring. I think it's okay. So you see, it's again the perfect measure. Looks flawless. Looks so coherent and textured. What is important, you can always try to channel the endings, like squeezing it here underneath the wire, the stiff one. So this is the first two braids, and I'm going to show you how to build up the next one. So obviously we went this way, so we again switch to horizontal. And to be horizontal again, where you can determine the space, it will be the inside of the thing. So here you should look for what we have here. Maybe you can even go a little under the wire. So if you see, this is kind of moving. So that flexibility can be very useful if you start stitching. So here should come a silver one. And again, if you just take it apart, you will notice that the different section will be of a different measurement. So again, try to measure. It looks okay. So I want to do it parallel to either of the axes and next to this one. So again, here is the start of our next section. If you see it from here, it's even longer than any of the sections before. But it's very important that you see how many braids shall it cross. So don't worry, just continue. And because you cannot estimate the distance here or at the stitch because it's already so crowded, all you can do is just to turn your beadwork and try to continue the sections starting from here where it's easier. And remember to this point where the heart starts curving again until this point. So until this point, your stitches should be either horizontal or vertical. And here requires this small section a little amendment, but this you will see anyhow, because from this point on, you switch to a rather perpendicular way of stitching the starting point of the braids. And this is how we'll fill nicely up the whole thing. So again, just check from where I would like to run the blue. Get a bit of blue, checking if it's sliding, but I just see already that it's not, might not be sliding so easily. So the top, it needs some slight modification. So no matter how good quality this wire is, because we use it in bead embroidery and we are not doing this Ari or Zardozi technique as the Indians with this small crochet hook, they are not bothered. They're working with an absolute different kind of instrument. So they are not checking their bits. So I'm not still quite convinced. Something could go really wrong with the thread. So I try on the other way and check if it's okay. Good. So again, this should go next to it. So stitching it down here. Okay.